Hello, students, teachers, parents, history nerds. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nutshelled History, where we lay out the facts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We continue with our Early America series with Madison and the War of 1812. Check the description down below for a fill-in-the-blanks worksheet that goes along with this video. I just ask that you like and subscribe. I apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Despite hundreds of treaties between the United States government and American Indian nations, whites who settled west of the Appalachians often came into conflict with native peoples. Two Shawnee brothers, Tecumseh and Tenskwatawa, also called the Prophet, began calling for resistance. They called on American Indians to preserve their traditional ways. Tecumseh traveled widely, trying to forge a confederation of nations. American officials were concerned by Tecumseh's activities. While Tecumseh was gone, William Henry Harrison, the governor of the Indiana Territory, led an attack on Prophetstown, a settlement on the Tippecanoe River. Both sides suffered heavy losses in the Battle of Tippecanoe. The British were supplying the American Indians with guns and ammunition and urging them to attack settlers. In addition, they refused to acknowledge American neutrality, unlike the French, and continued seizing American ships and impressing American sailors. Some Americans, the Warhawks, began calling for war, fueled by a sense of nationalism. Opposition to war was strongest in New England, where many believed war would harm American trade. Yet war was declared. Because of military cuts under Jefferson, the United States military was not prepared for the War of 1812. The naval fleet included only 17 warships. Promising money and land, the government recruited volunteers to fight. The British blockaded American ports, and the Americans could not break through. One early naval success for the United States was the USS Constitution's defeat of the British warship Guerriere. Yet this and other victories at sea did little but cheer up the Americans. The Warhawks wanted to conquer Canada. Most American efforts failed, but the Americans did invade York, now Toronto, burning public buildings and carrying off British guns and supplies. Using a fleet of his own, Captain Oliver Hazard Perry scored an important victory against the British on Lake Erie. The British and their American Indian allies under Tecumseh retreated into Canada, but American forces pursued them. Tecumseh was killed when American troops defeated the British at the Battle of the Thames. After the British defeated Napoleon in 1814, they sent more troops to fight against the United States. In August, British troops invaded Washington, D.C., burning several government buildings, including the White House. The British moved on to Baltimore, where they attacked Fort McHenry, bombarding the fort all night. Yet at dawn, the Americans still held the fort. Throughout the war, African Americans served bravely on land and at sea. In late 1814, the British moved to attack New Orleans, while some New Englanders began to talk secession because of the war. In January 1815, American forces under General Andrew Jackson defeated the British at the Battle of New Orleans. 2 weeks earlier, the American and British representatives had signed the Treaty of Ghent, ending the war. To some Americans, the War of 1812 was a mistake. However, others felt that the victory had solidified the United States as a nation, making the people more American than before. Even though we didn't win the war, we didn't lose it either. That was something to be proud of. Now I'm proud that it is recap time. American settlers were at it again, ignoring treaties and pushing the natives off of their land. Tecumseh wasn't having it, and along with his brother, he began to organize resistance. While Tecumseh was away trying to organize a coalition, William Henry Harrison led an attack on the natives. The Battle of Tippecanoe was bloody on both sides. Much of the natives were getting weapons and ammunition from the British, who were encouraging resistance. The Brits were also still seizing our ships and impressing our sailors. Finally, war is declared, and it starts off badly for the Americans. The Brits come down from Canada and burn down the White House. Things do start to get better for the Americans, and eventually the Treaty of Ghent ends the war. But it doesn't end the battles. Andrew Jackson routs the Brits in the Battle of New Orleans 2 weeks after the treaty is signed. We didn't win, but we didn't lose either, so Americans are proud and experience a wave of nationalism. There you have it, folks. That is Madison and the War of 1812 nutshelled. Thanks for stopping by Nutshelled History. Don't forget to crack those like and subscribe buttons for me. Say hi in the comments down below.